Okay, so as you can see, the cap suffered a little incident today. The reason for that is I forgot to plug in the ailerons before taking off. So I still had elevator and rudder control, but no ailerons. So came down a little heavy, broke the wooden prop, the aileron came out, and the gear was fully flattened, and that's been since straightened out. And so to stop this from happening in the future, I've gone ahead and set up my DX9 here to have a pre-flight checklist. So before you see the main menu, you'll see that I need to check all of these boxes. So the wing bolts are secured, that I test the controls, battery charged, and battery secured. So those are the things that are important for this particular aircraft. So obviously there's some wing bolts here on the inside, and so that's a reminder for me to make sure that those are secured, and I haven't forgotten to put them in. Next thing on the list is to test the controls, and so you can see that I still have control over the controls while we're in this menu here. And then of course the ailerons being the critical one, which are still not plugged in, but that way I would have caught it if this was just before the flight. Checking the batteries charged, obviously always a good idea. And a previous incident I have with this aircraft is I forgot to strap down the battery properly, so I have another checklist item there to make sure that the battery is secured. And once I check all of these, the normal menu comes up, just like that, and then I'm ready to fly. And that menu can be accessed here. So you go to System Setup, and then Yes. And then down here there'll be a pre-flight menu, pre-flight setup. And so you'll notice it's a bit messy there, but the active ones are what I have going on. And the battery secured is actually one that I've typed in myself. So whenever you select any of the options, like so test controls for example, we can go in there and change it to whatever we want it to say. So if you don't see quite what you want, you can definitely type in exactly what you would like to check off, which is what I did for battery secured. So I just picked one and then changed it to battery secured. Modulation down here, if you have it active, it means that you are transmitting at the time. So for testing the controls, for example, that's important that that's active. Otherwise, they're not going to respond until we're out of that menu. And the execute every flight means that every time I turn on my radio, it will ask me to go through that checklist, or if I select a new model. The other option is every session. So if you have the same model selected every time, it won't necessarily prompt you with the checklist. So I just go with every flight. That way, this problem should never happen again. And I was lucky to get away with it this time. So here we go, the checklist shows up once again. Wing bolt secured, test controls, battery charged, battery secured. Will ask me that every time.